Amethyst's Revenge. My first love is the sea, and my second is my beautiful son Wallace. I feel drawn to the water in all its glory, so nothing better than being surrounded by the ocean as far as the eye can see. My son took to the sea before he could even walk, and took to sword fighting once he could stand. My right-hand man, Charlie, taught him how to fight, but I taught him how to think. To be a pirate, you must fight well, but to be a leader, you need to think. Every pirate out here fights, but not all think. For me, it is the mind that can save your life. Wallace was a great thinker, a sly little snake, which got him a whipping just as much as it got him praised. I was raising a future captain, a leader to take over for me once I was ready to give up my ship. I could not be a mother who threw her arms around her son every time he cried. I held back and stayed strong. He was my baby, but he was also a pirate. I say was with a heavy heart, for at the age of 16, he was taken from me. And it was all my fault. I believed his swordsmanship was that of an adult, enough so to go out on his own with several of my pirates to an island that no one had conquered before. Charlie had trained him so well, and Wallace's confidence made me so proud that I forgot to think. My heart made me believe he was a man. Wallace was still learning and wasn't ready. I let him go to that island on a small boat and signal if he needed help. I did not think. There was no signal, no screams, just silence and the open sea. When I found him on the island, he was barely breathing in a dark pool of red blood in the sand, his eyes bulging, looking at me for rescue. I held him. For every time I had held back, I held him and rocked back and forth as his life slipped away to return to the stars. Charlie found me, and we buried Wallace along with 10 of my pirates. I said nothing at Wallace's grave. There were no words to soothe me at all. Now there is a raging scream inside my heart of flames. I will search every inch of water until I find the one who took Wallace from me. I will curse every phase of the moon and promise the sky that blood will run deep on the day I meet Wallace's murderer. All I can say in my pounding soul is his name. Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. No death has been by my hands for 15 years, and that was Wallace's father for betraying us all. Now it is time for me to find Rocky's ship and wipe out every soul on it. Charlie knows where Rocky's ship would be heading, the Vincent Abyss, named partly after Rocky's father, also known as the Shadow Ship. Painted all black, the ship sails as if floating in shadows. Most stories consist of leaving no survivors, just a whisper on the ocean winds. Charlie remembered Vincent from his pirate days. He had some mercy, but raised Rocky to be a ferocious captain who would eat his young if he could. Remembering the stories Charlie told me when he first came upon Amethyst's Revenge made me regret ever allowing Wallace to be out there, alone. These waters belong to the ruthless pirates that gladly accept their karma into hell. My Wallace had a clean heart. After months of searching, we got word that Vincent Abyss was traveling northeast towards the island of Guff. What most do not know is that Amethyst's Revenge is the fastest ship in these pirate-infested waters, so we will meet them at night on the beaches of Guff. I sharpened my blade 7 times and thought out my plan 77 times. The moon is out and the night is upon us. We wait hidden in the darkness, half buried in fake sand graves, ready to attack. Rocky's pirates were in small boats by the fives, spread out like small fish, after the ship was anchored. I did not fear. My plan was flawless. The first boat that came to the sand carried 7 young pirates. My men came out of the dark sand, slayed them in silence, hiding the empty boat. Each boat was pulled into the shadows as my men silently sent each pirate to their afterlife. Charlie and I and 3 fierce pirates took to a boat to flank left towards the Vincent Abyss. We could barely see it. It truly was a shadow ship, but the waves lapping against the black wood of the ship were a whispering guiding us in. We climbed the rope ladder, and I could feel my heart beating and Wallace's face in my head. I had to blink, not to let my rage make me black out. We had reached the top. First Charlie, then he helped me and the others. Charlie was the size of 3 men, so pulling us up on the ship was like pulling frogs out of a bucket. We spread out, and I went straight for the captain's quarters. I blinked to keep myself from blacking out. I prayed to a God I didn't believe in to not black out. The wrath in my bloodstream can go too far, and I have known this since I was a teen. I do not let it get the better of me. I focus on the goal. I slowly turned the doorknob. There was 1 candle that barely lit the room. Rocky had his back towards the door and was lying on his bed. I slowly tiptoed towards him, but a wooden floorboard blew my cover. He turned around and arose from his bed, standing a foot taller than my captain's hat. "Did you come for death?" Rocky said with a grin. Within a split second, my sword had run through his throat. I grabbed the side of his ear and pulled him close to my face. With a snake-like whisper, I spoke. "Yours." I pulled out my sword and turned and walked away as I heard the body drop. There was a painting of his father, Vincent, on the wall. I set it on fire along with the ship, and we swam back to the beach to meet the mates. As our feet landed on the sand, I knew I wasn't meant for the sea anymore. All my pirates cheered in victory with gold and white smiles across the beach. I looked at Charlie and Solace. There is no greater heartbreak than a mother who lost a child, and no measure of revenge that will quench my lost soul. We sailed back to the island where I buried Wallace. Charlie knew I would not return to the sea. He was Captain Charlie of the Amethyst Revenge. I have no name, no heart, no soul. I breathe only to survive. For now. My correction. The sea is not my first love. My first and only love is Wallace. The sea is now a ghost that haunts me in the night and in the day.